All right, here we are. We're live. You boys ready for this? This is why I only do single game slates on this. We're gonna have a great time here. Gonna be here for probably 15 minutes, as least as as I get through my lineups. Reason being, Bobby is in the air right now. I believe she's on vacation. Rhodey is doing stuff with his kids. So you're stuck with me today. I will give you plenty of time to update your lineups. I'm not going to keep us here till lock. I'll give you plenty of time to possibly do any updates and stuff regarding any late breaking news within 15 minutes of lock and stuff like that. No reason to just be here for 45 minutes straight. But a couple of things about this slate that I liked, and the reason why I was like, yeah, sure, I guess I'll sign up. I guess I'll be live here and I'll talk about it. I don't know anything about anything when it truly comes to NBA, but we're throwing 40 into the big $5 contest. Figured I'd go live here with nobody else being here. So I have not. I mean, I have looked at the slate, right? I looked at it earlier today, but as we've seen with NBA at any point, this year. I mean, just like last week, you had Bridges, I believe, at like 4,100 or whatever, get rolled out, post lock, and like 80% of the people had him, right? Um, so for the most part, outside of starting lineups, outside of guys being rolled out last minute, we pretty much have the news. Okay, so I'm moving forward, assuming that that's not really going to change a ton. Now, one of the main reasons why I was like, yeah, okay, I can make a I can do a live show for this is when we look at the top of the salary. Now, granted, you have Luca who's been out since December. Apollo, same thing. I believe Snugs was probably the highest price guy who was rolled out today and stuff. But when you look at where everybody is in terms of salary, okay, we're most likely, and yet again, I haven't ran anything. I typically only run big slate NBA stuff as it gets closer. I mean, we're 45 minutes away. Um, but I don't think we're going to get a lot of Towns, Cunningham, or even Scotty Barnes. Okay. So this is leaning to from what I see from the outside looking in, being a very stars and scrubs type of lineup because I would assume and lean towards you probably want to make Wembanyama a priority today. Okay, yet again, I haven't looked at anything, I haven't read anything. I'm just kind of going through here. Yet again, I'm just focusing on the big five. I know that's already filled and stuff, but might as well throw some lineups in there. And this just seems like a slate that I feel more comfortable doing that. So typically, whatever I do, or whenever I'm listening to Sheets or Bobby, or really anytime I'm taking in content and whatnot, what's going on, Rody? Yeah, dude, month away from NASCAR. I do have several videos coming out this month. I still got to record. Probably 6 to 9, if not 10 videos and stuff before the end of the month. Anyway, so what I want to do is typically, since I'm doing stars and scrubs, I'm expecting also not caring about duplications. I don't really consider that being an issue with 71,000 people. If it was a smaller slate, if it was NFL, of course, it's going to happen. I'm not really concerned about that. So whenever I'm personally doing stars and scrubs lineups, we'll probably do men's salary at 48.99. Gives me space to make adjustments in case we get any late breaking news for the most part. Now, granted, we should at least, I mean, we already have the 6 o'clock games with Embiid out and Russell out and so on and so forth. But this should be a pretty quick slate in terms of news. All the news is going to come out in the next hour or so, or post lock, right? So building right off the bat for me at 49 or at 48.9 for men's salaries where I want to start, right? And I'm going to use SaberSim's line or SaberSim's projection specifically here, just because I know for a fact they were just updated, and I don't really want to um, do anything past that. I don't want to import Goldie stuff, not because they're not updated, but when I'm working in a situation like this, 40 minutes lock, I'm gonna lean towards SaberSim stuff. Um, Let me see if Goldie did actually update them or if they've been updated here. Yet again, I'm going to be terrible if you guys ask me questions about, oh, what about the playtime here? What about the uptick in whatever, the updated DraftKings points per minute with Paul George with Embiid off the court. Okay, I don't have the answer to any of that, dude. Fuck me running. I don't know anything about these idiots. Um, so I'm gonna be really, really bad answering those questions if you ask them. Just letting you know from here on out. Yet again, running 40 lines tonight, so not concerned about salary. I already have my stuff in. And so what I want to see just right off the bat is where we're coming in at exposure. Just haven't changed anything, haven't ran sims or whatever. I just want to see what, based on the large slate, Sabres score, kind of where we're at here now. Right off the bat in the situation, now yet again, this is going to change. But I mainly just wanted to see where we're at with Giannis and Wimby here. We have no Wimby in the top 40. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I don't even know where to find his stupid name. We got 6 lineups right now. Interesting. Now just there, what I always do is I look at projected score and how that changes stuff, and he's getting moved up, who's getting moved out. Let's go to all, actually. Cole Anthony's still being moved in there. I know there's like a $4,100 guy. Oh, here we go. See, this is what I'm waiting for, right? I'm trying to get the latest projections. We're just going to start over, right? I'd like to at least get a total run in before projections are completely smashed out. Let me go ahead and check the. It's a darn shame. The Fantasy Labs Twitter, really went under. Or I believe they didn't really go under, but the individuals who made that, I believe, got hired by Underdog. That's why the default is the Underdog NBA. Updated stuff. What happened here? Okay, that's what changed. We have the lineup for the Magic. Okay, whatever. I'm not really concerned about missing a starting lineup for a team at the moment. Yeah, again, and for the most part, I still need to get my dummy lineups in, right? In case I lose power or whatever, I don't have to manually throw in 40 lineups on my phone or something. So now that this is going and what we're going to be doing here, so the main contest is 7,100 people. One thing that I've been seeing more of and having more success, the kind of, I guess we can go back to the NFL the other day. So like this one, right? So I've been goofing around with more and more lineups as this runs in the back. I've been goofing around with more and more experiments of seeing what I can do, and so like in like bigger contests, right? So this one was the the $3 on Saturday for the NFL. I did that. I think I did all the threes, all the twos, and I want to try and get as many lineups in as possible. And what I've been running is actually stuff related off of win rate on top of my own. I mean, you're gonna notice I just went 100% on Burrow, and I just decided to absolutely just have for whatever reason 85% of Mitchell. I it sucks that Henry didn't take off early, but even with Mitchell being not owned, also I already I went in expecting to play Herbert, so I had 75% Herbert. I didn't have to go off. I don't know who was playing Brown, some bit like who plays in that situation, but. One thing to note is I have been having more success, and what I'm defining that is trying to have at least a lineup that is very close to competing for the optimal. I mean, this one's going to probably be, I don't remember how many points off, right? But I mean, it's a 1v1, or like a 1v1, 2v2. I mean, obviously, this fellow here who tries to steal my last name. Plus, I didn't have, I think, Adkins from the Browns. But anyway, you're going to see me sorting this stuff and building this off of win rate and not ROI, as I've just been happier with what I've been seeing as of late, and it's given me just more. I've liked what I've been finding. Is Drummond out? What happened to Drummond, dude? What's going on here, brother? Oh, dude, NBA is so stupid. Why is he showing? Why is it showing Drummond is out? What's going on here? What's going on here? Oh boys, gotta rerun it. Drummond's out. Um, so we'll give this, well, we'll give this more time to goof around, update. Anyway, what I've been doing is, when I end up running the Sims and stuff, is I've been sorting more by, now yet again, this is ran with Drummond in there, but I've been focusing more on win rate than ROI or cash rate and stuff. And I usually go back and forth between comparing what the differences between the win rates and the actual projections are. Now, today might not be the best slate to do that on, because if we're doing stars and scrubs, we're kind of automatically leaning towards ceiling performances from everybody. Um, Although typically I don't feel like I have to go out of my way to get those. Oh yeah, I probably need to do here. This will be ugly as hell, but we probably need this since I'm in the dark right now. Yeah, we get to run. We get to run the white background here because I don't have a lamp over here. But what I've been using or focusing on that more is I'm trying to get more lineups, competing, or at least being like a true 2v2, 1v1 situation where you can usually see the plays that you probably should be on, whether it's football, whether it's a showdown or whatever. I've been finding more success as of late, or at least success defined by what I mentioned earlier in the last like month and a half, 2 months of doing this. Now this will probably be the first big slate and the first big contest that I'm kind of gonna test it out here, but that's what I'm doing here. Let's see Saber. Oops. Let's see Saber. Hell yeah, bro. We're updated. Let's try this again. This is the only reason why I didn't import Goldie stuff, because his updates, about every 10 minutes. And it's usually much better closer to lock, but for the point of this video. All right, so we're gonna run this again, get it together, then run the Sims, then check it out, and check out where we are in terms of projections, then win rate. I'm also, yet again, if we, my expectation entering the slate today, and yet again, this probably isn't helpful. Like, I'm not giving you picks or anything. I'm just showing you what I'm doing here, right? 71,000 people in there. Expectation, desired outcome would be to try and get $5 back. And to not be completely wiped. I'm trying to just not throw the $200 into a furnace here. But because of that, I know right off the bat I would probably not enjoy the lineups on a contest this big, running the Sims, and for the contest specifically with the 71,000 people, and then running the raw ROI lineups with like no changes or anything like that. I just don't think I would enjoy the outcome of that. We've probably, I mean, we've all done that at some point, right? We're like, oh, let me hop on Saber Sim. We're only 4 lines. Let me hop on Saber Sim really fast. Let me sim the big millionaire maker, okay? And it shows, hey, this lineup highest ROI, right? And you play those lineups, and you're like, fuck, dude, they didn't even cash. What's going on? Um, so what I'm doing specifically for this is simming for, hell, I don't even remember. Hold on. I'm using, what am I using? I'm pretty sure I'm using the box out. I'm pretty sure that's what I customized earlier. Now, yet again, some people may argue that's a disastrous outcome. But for the most part, typically I just play whatever lineups I want to do in any, like if I'm doing, single entry, or I'm doing one lineup a night or whatever, I enter in all single entry contests, whether it's $4 or 40, and then the big thing as well. Same thing with NASCAR. When I'm throwing 20 lines in, they're in the 50 cent one, $4, $15. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do one more update. Oops. Me. And I always like to just rebuild. I don't like to come on, refresh. I know. Let's go. Let's go, buddy boy. I typically like to just rebuild as soon as the updated projections are out. I don't really enjoy personal preference. I don't really enjoy just like, oh, update the projections based on lineups we have here. I just like to start over again. Anyway, I'm using the smaller lineups, okay? And if you think of like, what's a contest kind of everybody sees as like a high like the luxury box, right? For NFL, whether it's like a single entry on like a Monday night or whatever. I typically use that field to sim the contests, and then I'll just look at dupes, right? And it'll be like, oh, this is the highest duplicated lineup expected to be in the luxury box. And I'm like, damn, what a great lineup. Like, what a good line. If this is a lineup that, the high stakes field is expected to see a lot of, whether it has 6 dupes, 3 dupes, whatever, I have found that as kind of an avenue to see what the good lineups are, and it hasn't always happened like that, but typically, I'll then, because I don't play in luxury box, I don't have, like, 2 grand to throw away, right? Um, I'll go in, look at the live scoring, and be like, "Damn, dude, I accidentally just wandered upon the lineup that Shady Advice played, that McLovin played or whatever." And if I can like backdoor just into that, then I'm like, okay, cool. That saved me a lot of time, right? So anyway, that's why I sim with like, the higher stake stuff if I'm doing like a single entry lineup, just to get an idea of, hey, let me not deal with any like shit lineups, just see what's actually being played here and stuff. Let's see here. Which net player? TJ? No idea. I don't even know who plays. I don't even know what city are they in? Brooklyn? Maybe. Don't know. That's the fun part about this, dude. That is the greatest part about this. So now, hopefully, we don't get anything else rolled out. We got 28 minutes till the start here. All right, so let's go ahead. Look at contest sim. Actually, let's go ahead and start. I don't think we're gonna have an update for a second. So let's check out highest projected lineups. We're seeing these value guys come in. We're seeing Victor and Giannis being pretty even. Yet again, I'm doing 40 lineups, so this is pretty much kind of where I want them to be at when I'm all said and done. Probably going to be closer to, I would say, probably 55 to 60 on Victor. Probably closer to 35 to 40 on Giannis. I'll happily take more Victor when it's all said and done. So when we look at the ROI right off the bat, right, this is going to zero in on more of the kind of like the obvious plays for the value, right? And then it does like a bunch of 1v1s once we get started, like once we get way down here, right? Um, so it seems like Cole Anthony is going to be chalk in whatever we're doing. Okay. Seems like Jaren Jackson Jr. for Memphis. I'm going to assume there are people out for Memphis, maybe. Why is he being? And this is my own curiosity, not really looking for an answer here. Oh, it's because they're playing. It's because yeah, John's been out since last year. Oh, it's because Bane is not expected to play today. He's listed as doubtful at the moment. That's why. That's why we're getting so much Jaren Jackson. Okay. What else are we looking at here? I would anticipate his ownership being moved up, since Bane will probably be ruled out by the time this is all said and done. Looking for anything else out of the ordinary. Okay, so if we notice the difference here between that and like say cash rate, right? So like, which I would advise, if you're doing cash or whatever. I don't know why you're doing that in Year of Our Lord 2025, but if you're playing cash, right, you're just trying to beat the 50, or in traditional cash, this cash rate will indicate whatever the cash line is in this contest. So encroaching on like the top 19% of lineups, and we're going to see probably it be a bit more conservative. Let's see what changed here. We see a lot of Paul George. We see Victor carrying a lot more. Okay. We see Victor having way more than Giannis. Okay. So this would indicate to me that, hey, Victor's probably a safer play than Giannis. Plus, I would argue probably having a higher ceiling with, if you look at all his uh, props today and whatever. I mean, he's playing against the Chicago team that, like, from what I have heard, doesn't know how to play defense, right? Okay, so let me go ahead and look at this one now. We can start dicking around with win rate. Okay, so the win rate, right? Now we start looking through, and I'm sorry that this is blindingly white here, but we're seeing that the win rate. Yet again, I'm using a smaller contest here, but these are all lineups that, based on what SaberSim is using and stuff. Yet again, in this I guess mid stakes. What is it? An $88 entry, 15 max contest I'm using here. We're seeing that ownership is much more spread out. So yes, Cole Anthony, still you're the highest guy that it would have that I'd have right now in my 40 lineups, but a much more conservative 72%, 29% of lineups in here. Where does Victor fall? 15 there. Giannis is there. Not really a fan of that. Let me look at these lineups. These are much more balanced, but Victor's in the third. Let's see where all these guys kind of fall in line at. And yet again, I don't like, putting my grubby hands into stuff of like, oh, I want this guy specifically. I don't want this guy specifically. But I'm assuming that Jaren Jackson. Okay, we got another update. I'll redo that after this. Um, but based on this, it seems Jaren Jackson at 9,100 is being able to fit into quite a lot of these lineups here. These are at 15, 12. What is the cash rate over here? What's the highest cash rate we're seeing here? 24. So typically that's usually indicating that it's a bigger field. We got 8 games over here. Usually if it's like a single game showdown with like NBA or NFL, you typically see a cash rate closer to like 38 to like say 42 for the most part on slates that are smaller or games that are smaller and stuff. So this isn't too bad seeing 22. The reason I'm looking at this is like, okay, cool. Most, at least in my head, how I view this, most lineups, straight up should have about a 25% chance to cash with the wild things that can happen here. Okay. You combine that with the highest predicted score lines. And this is what I do just for whatever slate I'm playing. If I'm running it through SaberSim, I really only hand build for NFL if I'm doing single entry, and then I hand build everything for NASCAR. But we're seeing, the highest predicted score lineup that I got right now is 291, cash rate 24%, win rate 0.74. When you start going by, ROI, we're gonna see it's the same one. So this just would seem like the best lineup that it's giving me at the moment. But you see this cash rate drops from like the second one to 18, 22. So I'm not really concerned when I sort by when I sort by win rate to see it drop to like 18 to 14 to 15, 15, 13, 24, 17, 14. I mean, that's the point of entering 40 lineups and stuff. And we're losing like 6% or whatever on the cash rate, so I'm not too concerned about that. This will probably be, if I can X out of this. This will probably be the real bill that I end up going with. I mean, I'm sure we'll get some more starting lineups and stuff, but I want to at least get some lineups in this next 20 minutes so I can at least have that to fall back on in case I lose power or whatever, since Texas is expected to just freeze to death. I'm sure you guys are seeing that storm that's coming through the southwest or the southeast region of the U.S. I'm very curious on seeing what the Texas power grid does. I'm very curious on what Centerpoint does. I mean, I got I got folks with a generator that I'll end up going to if we lose power. But I'm very curious on how many old people we kill this week. Yeah, all the I have no faith in the Texas power grid. Going to be an interesting couple days. Thursday is going to be really interesting. Going to be raining, possibility of snow for the most part. Highs looking anywhere from like 39 to 41. So Texas should get wrecked on Thursday. So we'll see here. All right, we'll run this again. We'll let that go yet again. Sorry that Bobby and Wimby isn't in here. Not Wimby. Sorry that Bobby, Sheets, and stuff aren't here, but this is the best we can do, or at least me rather. All right, so we're back here, back to win rate. Let's see where all these guys are at. I don't think. I mean, I did see a comment in there. I know Rody answered it. Playing Giannis and Wimby together, I would probably not do that. I think the in game today is probably trying to get see this guy jumped up. I have no idea who this man is. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name because no matter what I say is going to come off as racist. But it seems to me with Jaren Jackson with one of Wemby or Giannis would probably be the way to go here. I don't know what we got going on here. So it seems like we got the starting grid. We have the starting lineup for Philly. Actually, what I need to do is just I need to also, since I don't have Excel because I hate myself, I still use the Google Drive. The Goggle Drive. Let me just get these in there so I don't have to fucking worry about, leaving my shit empty all day. Let me just get this done, then I can see. All right. All right, let's delete that. All right. Go back here. Let's download the CSV. Bam, let's upload that to DraftKings. All right. Yet again, this is just so I have my lineups in, right? I have something, in case stuff hits the fan. So let's go ahead and see what we're going on here. If I start going down, I like seeing what changes. Where is this being changed? Okay. Now, yet again, I know Sheets goes about it differently. I'm just wanting to see what's changing in the exposure. Typically, what I like to see, and if I don't see it, I'll manually do it. I want to see the unique, not the unique, the min uniques actually come from the top exposure guys and not the bottom. I mean, it's pretty easy to be like, oh, you know what? We'll have one lineup with Zach Levine, one lineup with Mike Conley. I typically want to see what starts to happen when I start getting less the higher guys, and just from going through here, we saw that Cole Anthony, not from these changes specifically, but we saw Cole Anthony go from one of the highest expected guys to now there's more value opening up and stuff. And specifically with the $4,300 starter and a 49, it's going to be way easier to start getting to more expensive guys. Now, this is a bit too much. Let's see, where are we at here? A lot of 6 guys, just Giannis. I'm just wanting to go through and look at these really fast. Paul George, yet again, with no Embiid on the slate. Let me see here. See, I really don't want balanced lineups. I'm just kind of looking through here really fast. And when people say DFS is dead, then this is really what DFS has turned into. It's just what do the Sims say? Well, I'm not even having any input on anything here. All right, let's do it again. Let's start. Actually, hold on. I want to keep wanting to say starting grids. Let me. Do we have the? We just have starting lines for Phoenix and Philly. Do we have them for Detroit? We do. We have them for Portland. Okay. So first two. Okay, so I should be able to get through this without stuff updating on me. This is kind of part of the reason why a lot of people joke around. I know, or not joke around, but a lot of people are like, how many runs do you do? Do you do 1? Do you do 10? I mean, I just yet again we have another update. Like, I just constantly rerun stuff. I mean, NBA is just a pain in the ass. I mean, we're 15 minutes away. I still get, we're just gonna start the new one. We're just gonna. Oh, I mean, let's stop this build. Also, when you start opening stuff up, sometimes you run into issues. I don't know if it is on the load in the browser or stuff, but you need to make sure you're ending the build before you make a new one. Otherwise, we might have a situation here. Well, this one's yeah. So sometimes it'll be like still building a previous build, and it'll like freeze and stuff. Especially like during NFL Sundays when people are like trying to run everything last minute. I just try and clear out as much. I mean, I didn't go into my browser and clear the cookies, but I'm just trying to clear as much data as possible on the SaberSim side, so it's not having to, um, just deal with so much. Because I know there's probably at least like how many users do you think SaberSim has? If you include anybody who has this on our side, and then you add maybe like RunPure, you add regular SaberSim users, we're probably getting closer to like 400 to 500, 550 people, maybe more. I mean, and I'm thinking that 500 is probably on the $300 a year, right? With the Sims. You add that with the people who have Saber Sim but don't get the Sims, we may be at 1,000, 2,000 people, overrunning the servers, trying to get all that stuff loaded. All right, let's see. This one I should be able to start making stuff. Like I said, I want to probably end up having 65% Victor. I don't really care. We got another update. That's fine. Um, I don't really care what is going on with the rest. And we're getting close, like 50, or we're 5:46, 14 minutes before lock. At this point, nobody's being rolled out. It's just updating to make sure people are in a starting lineup and stuff. So this guy's popping up like a mother trucker. So my little pea brain will go in and be like, how does he perform? What has he done recently? What exactly is going on here? 14, 24, 16, 24, 24. Interesting. And I mean, the worst thing you do is be looking at game logs, but I've like literally never even heard of this man before in my life. So where's Giannis at? 42. This is pushed Victor down. We compare it with ownership, 23, 22. And again, Victor's just in see. What are we doing? What are we doing center wise? We getting a lot of Clarkson. Where's Clarkson? What does he even play, dude? Don't even know what Clarkson does. Not even Clark. Claxton's the guy I'm trying to think of for I guess the Brooklyn Nets. Interesting. Yeah, no, it is Clax. Okay. Interesting. All right. Gonna do a quick look through of what these lineups are looking at. And I guess to answer your question, who you play, and probably whoever I end up having exposure to, would be the guys that are probably, I mean, you can visibly see probably what I'm gonna end up going with somewhere around that. See, this is always interesting. Like win rate, highest one. I only have him in 1,000 total lineups out of the 5,000. 8 lineups with Cade, but he's in the higher ones. I typically don't enjoy players in those situations like this, build wise and stuff. See, I didn't even know Tobias Harris is on Detroit. That's crazy. Wow, you learn something new every day. Interesting. All right, let's start actually getting to where I want to be. Running 40. I'm used to doing 20. I was like, this is where I start. This is what I'm gonna. Yeah, dude, we're gonna start making adjustments in these ranges here. Okay, so what is that doing? See, I'd like to not personally. I mean, I'm doing, like I said, 40 lines, but I don't really just want the entire farm on one value guy because even if they work, we got 26 lines with them. If they fail, I have 14 lines still alive, And when we look at this, so we have 4 with just Cole Anthony. And we have 4 with okay. Interesting. What else are we doing here? Victor at 50. Where's Jaren Jackson? Somebody was showing up earlier at 11. Anyway, I mean, this is how I play. This is how I play NBA. Like anytime I'm posting like screenshots or whatever, or it's like, oh, I did this in a showdown. This is literally what I do for NBA. Like I don't know ball at all. I don't know nothing, right? Like we're just here like a chimpanzee swinging a club into a tree trying to get a banana off. We're just absolutely brute forcing it. 35 Jaren Jackson. We got 27 Giannis. Victor's 57. Pretty much right where I want to be. I look at the rest of this stuff. I got K down to 15. So where are these lines coming in at? 7, 8, 15, 134, 147. What's changing with that? ROI is lower. It should be the 6, yeah. Projected score. Like, see, this just indicates to me, like, could be wrong. I mean, I'm just looking like Kate. I just don't think you got to play Kate Cunningham at all today. I mean, I'll leave him at 6, but I don't know why it was, it was one to force him way more earlier. Let's see. We got 9 minutes here. Let's see. I'm trying to look through anything else. I know this guy was being talked about today in some other shows. I hate to just say that, be like, I heard a show talking about this guy here, but that's literally just what I do. Where's George at? Where you at, Paul? Where's Paul George at, dude? You getting no? Oh, we got him 9. I just can't read apparently. All right. And then also when I'm down here, if I'm looking at expensive guys like Maxi, see, it just seems like interesting. Very, very interesting. What changes here? Still at 10, 23. Who else are we getting exposure to down here? Randall, I didn't change anything. Got 8 minutes until lock. So what I'm going to do is, this is usually how I go about it. I'm going to go ahead and grab this again. We got 6 minutes, 50 seconds until the slate locks. So I guess I lied. I guess I am just going to be up here till late. Now, as we talked about, we only have 2 games going live right here. We're gonna do it one last time, actually. 7 minutes. Dude, we got plenty of time. We can totally goof around here and totally destroy things. Got the starting lineups for the earlier games, so we can just go ahead and run these big bad boys. As I do that, we're gonna. Now I always get paranoid about stuff not working, so I always start from scratch when I'm uploading my CSVs, because sometimes Google likes to act stupid and import the wrong things. So we're going here. We're just going to clear these guys out. We're going to make a new one. I'm so sorry if this was not helpful, or maybe it was. Maybe you're completely frustrated with me. Let's see. Yeah, I feel so bad because like BMAG, Green, Corey, and I'm not running stuff for the alley oop. I mean, you can buy, your subscription to SaberSim and do it yourself there. I always feel so bad when people are like asking me questions on NBA because I don't know anything about this sport at all. Like, real question, right? 6 minutes left. I mean, the only thing I'm gonna change here on this run is make sure I got the 50 to 65% Wimbiana. I'm gonna make sure I have Gian. Actually, I should just be done here. Actually, okay, cool. So we're there. All right, we're there. Where are we at, Victor? What I want. So Cole Anthony got knocked down too. Tyrese Martin's now involved. Oh boy. Gee Willikers. Rick, what are we doing here? I just want to. I mean, the slate's going to be made for Victor for me. See, now I'm like super underweight on Giannis, which is fine. I don't hate that. Where's George at? Paul George 10, Chris Paul 10, Jaren Jackson. Yeah, see, okay, I'm perfect. That's pretty much right where I wanted Jaren Jackson. I like Jaren Jackson a lot today, given picks, I guess. Jaren Jackson, Victor. Maxey got moved up. He wasn't on the win rate. Yeah. He wasn't showing up before. Let's see. Do I want anything else? I want a different approach. What do we get here? The change in the mid. Lower on Giannis. Victor's still at 55, 42. Yeah, you know what? I'm fine with that. We can get this in and then adjust based on the games coming up. Anyway, as I say this out loud, can anybody explain me why a rebound is a stat in NBA? Like, to this day, doesn't make any sense. I don't know why that is a stat that even matters. Oh boy, you picked up a ball that bounced off the back of the backboard, or you grabbed a ball that somebody threw in the air and it missed. Like, why is that? Why is that a stat in NBA? Like that's literally where I'm coming at this from, with absolute like head against the wall frustration of why that is a stat. Okay, so exposure. This is where I'm at. Whoever this guy is, and Cole Anthony got 65% of. I'm fine with Martin being at 62. I'm paying up for Victor. I know I'm paying up for Jaren Jackson. So for the most part, I mean, that's like $20,000 of the $50,000 salary. I know for a fact a lot of these lines are stars and scrubs. I don't know how long I've been live. Yeah, I was here for a whole 40 minutes. Hopefully, well, Bobby will be back tomorrow. I think Sheets is back on the 9th, 10th. Might be earlier, could be wrong. Don't remember. But anyway, this is how I play NBA. I guess best of luck, guys. Thanks for joining me. Thank you for all the likes. 11 likes on something that I think was not helpful at all. But either way, thank you very much. And I will see you guys later. Yeah. Oh, last. Hold on. PJ Wash. I was curious on who I had from Dallas, but I think a majority of that is going to be going to Jaren Jackson. I wanted to try and I guess it's going to be a late slate. I mean, I guess it's really not. It's an hour, but with so much Victor and Jaren Jackson, I guess I'll be staying up watching these games tonight. With value coming early, maybe I'll pay for the guys later. Whatever. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. I'll talk to you guys later.